Bizarre Brain Comics. Oh, hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host, and this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. Well, this time, I dug out just a handful of science fiction comics covering decades, just to have a little look at some of them. So here, and these are different, various publishers. And we're starting with Spaceman. This is Spaceman number 9. This is, what did I see? 1971. This is from Dell Comics. 1972. Dell Comics. Nice cover painting, like they were used to. Of course, this is number 9. It had various creators. I think this was drawn by, I think it's Frank Springer. And some very basic science fiction, spacey stuff. But yeah, the Spaceman is this particular character. Said, man has broken the ties of Earth and is about to conquer space. And then it's followed by Spaceman number 10. Dell Comics. From the dark reaches of an outer galaxy came an insidious menace and a call for help. Still no idea who the writer was, but again, still who I believe is Frank Springer doing the art. Did a really nice job. Oh, that's quite a lovely lady there. That's some really good job. But these are, even though they're from 72, it's reprint material from a decade before. Yeah, so it's actually from the Silver Age. And early in the Space Age. You know, when everyone was all excited about spacey stuff with NASA, the space race, and Project Mercury and Gemini. Okay, then here we have from Charlton Comics. It's Charlton Comics, Space Adventures. This is from 1964. It's 12 cent cover price. This was number 59, and is an anthology. Unlike the Spacemen, who had their regular cast of characters. Of course, this is in the old standard tradition of anthology stories, featuring several stories by various creators, and it even includes of course, a text page with a story, a couple of text pages featuring a story with throwbacks. That is Space Adventures. Now here, still from Charlton, of course, another issue of Space Adventures, but this one is Space Adventures number 2. So at some point they must have discontinued this series of Space Adventures and then brought it back, starting over at number 1 just a few years later. This is from 68, was it? Let me see. Yeah, 1968. And this was all new material, at least leading. I think it was all new material. This is because stories written by Sergius O'Shaughnessy, with art by Jim Aparo, Pat Boyette, and Steve Ditko. And in this first story is Jim Aparo, of course, who later did a couple years on The Phantom at Charlton before moving over to DC, doing some Aquaman, and then a long-time Batman artist. And then we have our Ditko story there with some time travel, and then ending up with our Pat Boyette story, There Shall Be an Ending. But I think all, this is actually all one interconnected story, but each section with a different artist. Then we have Space Adventures number 6, Charlton Comics, but instead of having a single cover illustration, they're using composite elements from panels inside. This was, number 6. This would have been 69. This is Lunar Rendezvous. These are not connected. The confrontation, I don't think. Yeah, Hunter's Planet. There's Pat Boyette again. I like Pat Boyette. I like all of them. I had some nice art and nice, interesting stories. Not necessarily the best, but interesting nonetheless. Then we have Space War number 31, and if I remember correctly, at some point in the 70s, the title changed from Space Adventures to Space War, but the contents pretty much remained the same. And this is from 1970. Was that 78 or 76? 1978, and I think they changed that title after Star Wars, but I'm not positive on this. Of course, here we have Steve Ditko story, and I think most of these stories were at this point reprint from stories. A Strange Guests of Saurus, another Ditko story. I think they're all Ditko in this one. Yep, and the last one is Ditko story as well. And I think it was all reprinted from earlier incarnation of Space Adventures. Then we have, this is from, I'm thinking 86. Is that what it said? 1986? 1999. This was America's Comics Group, Space War, the classic sci-fi series from the 50s. So this is reprinting stuff from Charlton. It's all Charlton material. It even still has Charlton Comics give you more from the 50s and 60s, and it looks very dated. Reprinting all this stuff. It's still some fun reading. Then we go to Gold Key Comics. This is Captain Venture number 1. U.S. space probe pilots struggle to survive while stranded in the depths of a strange planet. It says Captain Venture and the Land Beneath the Sea. Now this is a little different. Let's see. Is number 1, and does it give the year 9? Let me get a closer look there. Yeah, this is from 1968, but this is a series this was a backup feature in Lost in Space, and then what they did is just for a few issues compiled several of those backup stories into individual issues of a comic, and reprinted it all. So, and this was done by Dan Spiegel, who was also the artist on Lost in Space. And this is at the beginning when the spaceship goes to whatever this planet is, and they're and they are marooned at a land under the ocean on this alien planet, and have all kinds of weird adventures and alien beings and the like. Then we go to here. Not quite science fiction. Yeah, it is. But is UFO and outer space. And I've done episodes on some of these titles before. And this is issue number 21. This was, what year was this? 1979. And again, I think Frank Springer. But this was current because, like, the initial story here is from just earlier that year or the year before. So it was contemporary UFO sightings and the like. But right here in the middle, this is basically a science fiction story because it says, what if this happened and they had some ridiculous non-real science involved in it, and which caused aliens to come and do bad things. And then had more stuff about UFO reports and possible alien sightings, etc. The great cover painting, I think that's George Wilson. I loved this series, and I still do. I wish I had more of them, though. I have several, and I've shown most of them here. I don't think this one was in that one either. And then we're finishing up here with Space Hawk. This is from the 3D Zone number 18. Now, it's not number 18 of Space Hawk. It's number 18 of the 3D Zone. This is and I've talked about Space Hawk by Basil Wolverton before. This is reprinting stories from the 40s and 50s, done by the great Basil Wolverton. But of course, this is 3D comics, and it still has the 3D lenses here, and it's very, very pulpy type stories. And I'm going to try and see if this will work here. Come on, get out of there. This won't work for 3D, but I think it should help allow. I'm going to have to do this different. There, through one of the lenses so that you could actually get a better look at Basil Wolverton's artwork. Yeah. He did some weird-looking alien monsters and unusual spaceships, but it works. So there we go. That's the handful of science fiction comics I had to share with you this time around. So I want to thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Are you familiar with any of these titles? And how much do you love them, or how much do you hate them? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, comics are art.